Now, fans that either sold their tickets or whatever, all of a sudden an emphasis is starting to get thrown onto the tickets where people believe she will be playing. And that's starting to make the ticket prices go up, and up.
The cost of tickets is soaring that it may be necessary for the Federal Reserve to step in. Audience setting records, supporters, and selling kidneys for seats at the courtside. What sort of wizardry is this? Is she a combination of Taylor Swift, Steph, and LeBron? Caitlin Clark's return from injury was the catalyst for all of this mayhem. Caitlin Clark is more than simply a basketball dribbler. She's dribbling egos, media narratives, and financial accounts. And without even realizing it, the WNBA is being dunked on. There are, let's face it, before and after Caitlin Clark. Tickets were sitting down in front of her. They're going to go right into the luxury tax bracket after her.
Ticket sales are down 70% in many places. The Fever played the Mystics 2 nights ago. The cheapest ticket before her injury was announced was $41, okay? The cheapest one. After her injury was announced and people knew that she wasn't going to be playing, the lowest ticket price dropped to $3. $3. This is the Caitlin Clark effect. The WNBA doesn't quite realize what they have in Caitlin Clark. She is the absolute golden goose, the golden ticket. She is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They must protect her at
The breakdown energy coming from some WNBA veterans who seemingly didn't understand the script that states a larger audience equals more money and more relaxation is what's actually cooking here. There is more to the Caitlin Clark effect than just when she scores 30 points. It's bigger, oh no. It is everywhere. Now, it feels like oxygen in the arena. The numbers increase even while she isn't playing. Sales of merchandise have increased. TV ratings are higher. The crowd is acting as though she's Taylor Swift attending an NFL game, which is making security personnel anxious. And here's the kicker. It appears that several WNBA players would prefer to defend a fast break without shoes than acknowledge it. You would think a league would throw a red carpet for someone who is essentially bringing the entire team into the public eye like an ESPN point guard on a mission. However, some athletes are behaving as though Caitlin stole their endorsement agreements and lunch money.
Don't hate the player, hate the game she got, because she's really talented, especially for being Palangi, She's like the Stephen Curry of WNBA with the threes and stuff. Like, proven fact is, like, they had a game on June 7th scheduled. It was going to be Ada Reese's team, which plays for Chicago. And then for Caitlin Clark's team, they were supposed to go up there playing Chicago on June 7th. First, the ticket sales were at $76 a ticket. Then after they found out Caitlin Clark's not playing that game, she got injured. Sales dropped to 20.
The strangest thing is that the effect still blows up even on her bad evenings. The arena is still packed, and she is not dressed. People seem to have come just to see if she would turn up. Does anyone else understand that? Not the athletes sharing passive-aggressive Instagram tales about honoring veterans, for sure. Yes, we appreciate you, but we also appreciate the 2.5 million people who watched Caitlin be triple-teamed at half court. It's difficult for some players to understand that Clark isn't their rival. Their lift is her. However, some are busy trying to cut the cables rather than taking the ride. On the surface, everyone is welcome to join the league. However, there are numerous body checks, side looks, and statements about rookies having to earn it underneath. Yes, January. It seems that being the sole reason your next game airs on national television for the first time in 12 years is not a prerequisite for earning it. Veteran jealousy is more audible than an overtime buzzer beater. Ironically, diva antics aren't even central to Caitlin's game. She's not asking for preferential treatment. She appears to be using a GPS-powered shot chart as she launches logo threes. Some players, meanwhile, are more concerned with maintaining league gatekeeping than they are with changing the game.
Ticket sales are down 70% in many places. The Fever played the Mystics 2 nights ago. The cheapest ticket before her injury was announced was $41, okay? The cheapest one. After her injury was announced and people knew that she wasn't going to be playing, the lowest ticket price dropped to $3. 3. This is the Caitlin Clark effect. The WNBA doesn't quite realize what they have in Caitlin Clark. She is the absolute golden goose, the golden ticket. She is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They must protect her at all costs. You can argue all you want if she's the best player in the league, but you absolutely cannot argue if she's the most important, because she is. She is more valuable than all the other players combined, and that is just a fact.
The media circus follows because, naturally, as soon as Clark touches the ball, there are complete breakdowns, commentators giddy with anticipation, and camera angles that could pass for drone footage. Tracking the wild Caitlin in her native hardwood environment is a cross between ESPN and National Geographic. Zone defense is suddenly being discussed on TikTok by casual fans as the league's social media following soars. The players should be celebrating the exposure with champagne. Rather, we're hearing side remarks such as, "She hasn't proven herself yet. She's demonstrated more in 15 minutes than some teams have in 15 seasons, girl." The non-gaming phenomena is another. People still pretend as though Caitlin Clark is going to sprint through the tunnel even though she doesn't play. Outside the venue, scalpers are pricing as if she were Coachella's main act. Some teams, however, haven't generated that level of attention since the Obama administration. Suddenly, though, one rookie's absence stands out more than the entire starting lineup of the home club. And yet, the opposition. Attention was created by a flurry of tweets, barely disguised remarks, and locker room taunts from players who act like Clark. She's only getting started. Alright, but she's a rookie as well, and she's taking up more seats than your last 3 postseason trips put together.
Suffering a major injury is Caitlin Clark is going to be out for 2 weeks with a quad injury, and the reason we're bringing this up specifically is the Clarkonomics effect to this. Obviously, players miss time all the time, but the Sky and the Fever were supposed to play in Chicago in about a week on June 7th. The opening ticket price was $86 because you have the Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark showdown that is now box office. Yeah, those tickets are now down to $25. Down to $25 after the injury announcement. And it's supposed to take place in the Bulls Arena, the United Center, as opposed to the normal Wintrust Arena. That's about a 12,000 seat difference, give or take. So
would express regret. However, Clark possesses a quality that goes beyond basketball. Speed of culture. Similar to how Tiger and Serena did. It's that strange lightning in a Gatorade bottle that can't be coached, taught, or copied. Furthermore, nobody is claiming that she is flawless. Clark makes turnovers, gets blocked, and is stripped, yet even her errors have a pattern. Twitter goes crazy when she takes the lead. On sports radio, there is a heated discussion about her hip check. 5 blogs inquire as to whether she is hurt when she scratches her nose. Power is that. She earned it, not because she asked for it. She sparked, not simply showed up. Additionally, the league would be better off bottling that energy rather than attempting to neutralize it with forced elbows and salty pressers. However, some players are attempting to dehumanize her as if it were a privilege. This isn't a sorority, girl. It's a company. Additionally, Caitlin is now the league's greatest sales push since its founding.
Support system, that shouldn't change. I think, Caitlin knows that she has ears and eyes in the locker room, and the support that she has behind, whether it's us or anybody else. I would like to think that she knows it's there, and to really take her time and make sure that she's, well enough to be who she needs to be for us, because I want the 100% Caitlin. So
the true drama lies in the fact that even people outside the WNBA are beginning to notice the disparity in her treatment. Is this how we handle a player that attracts millions of fans to the sport? Yes, it seems. If you're still in the process of getting over your ejection from the Nike deal shortlist. The unfortunate thing is that this ought to be the simplest alley-oop in league history. Use the increased focus to highlight every player, increase jersey sales, secure larger TV deals, and advance the game. Rather than a revolution, half of the league is behaving as though Clark's success is an invasion. Every time she plays or doesn't, the league gains more attention. However, some players are more focused on gatekeeping than creating a legacy, which is unfortunate since if egos were attempting to play full-court press on advancement, this might be a golden age. Therefore, even though Caitlin Clark is a rookie, she already has the ball, the spotlight, the media attention, and almost $50 million in market influence surrounding her like a pick and roll. The Caitlin Clark impact is evident whether she is sitting on the bench drinking Gatorade or swishing logo 3ES. And the league has the choice to either embrace it or fall behind throughout this change.
And she's going to be out for at least a couple of weeks, it appears.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about Caitlin Clark? Remember last year, she played in the Final Four. Right after that, she went immediately to the WNBA. Draft came, season started, and, didn't miss a beat. And all of a sudden, she got a little rest and comes back, gets a little banged up. I heard you talking about it earlier, and it's going to be fascinating to me, Ricky. I've been to Fever games, and the one thing you notice, and this is more so than even when Peyton Manning was the quarterback of the...
Because, let's be clear, you're not simply watching a game when the crowd yells louder for the warm-ups than for tip-off. You're witnessing a shift. The WNBA was not broken by Caitlin Clark. She simply pointed out to everyone how much larger it might be. And it seems like that's a difficult pill to swallow when you believed that your agent was the only person with that type of pull. And just when you thought things couldn't get any more cartoonishly fantastical, Cathy Engelbert, the commissioner of the WNBA, appeared out of nowhere, acting as though she had personally brought the league into the mainstream. PowerPoint presentations titled, "How I Saved the WNBA," are being given by sis. For example, Caitlin Clark is merely an intern who manages Gatorade's logistics on the side. In the Final Four, Cathy Engelbert scored 40 points against South Carolina. Cathy Engelbert did not create a national merchandise explosion, break college viewership records, or teach males who had never seen women's athletics what a dribble handoff is. However, she is now flaunting herself as a marketing wizard who created all of this using a vision board and a press release. The Caitlin Clark effect is not a team-building activity, ma'am. You're just fortunate to be clinging to the rim during this cultural